You may think you know BTS, but here's why Jin is the silent force who's been holding it all together from the very beginning. Number 10. Jin's stability kept BTS from crumbling behind the scenes. Jin has consistently been the emotional stabilizer in BTS. While RM is often the leader in public, it's Jin who quietly absorbs tension in private. In high-pressure environments, world tours, global interviews, backstage chaos, he has shown a natural ability to keep things grounded. He doesn't overreact, doesn't feed panic, and doesn't fan drama. Instead, he uses humor, calm responses, and patience to neutralize stress, especially when younger members start to crack under pressure. This kind of leadership is subtle and often overlooked. Jin rarely demands credit for being the group's emotional center. Instead, he ensures the team remains focused, laughing, and bonded, even during burnout or disagreement. When others freeze or collapse, Jin steps forward with quiet confidence. Without him, BTS might have survived, but they wouldn't have remained as emotionally cohesive for this long. Number 9. Jin is beautiful and doesn't rely on it. That's power. Jin is easily one of the most handsome idols in K-pop history, yet he doesn't lean into his looks for validation. Instead of becoming trapped by the typical cold visual stereotype, he flips the script by parodying it, famously calling himself worldwide handsome in the most ridiculous contexts. That irony makes his confidence approachable and sincere rather than cocky. He's aware of his face, but doesn't let it dominate his identity. What's more powerful is how he actively sabotages his own image for entertainment. From ridiculous costumes to intentionally unflattering expressions, Jin refuses to let beauty define his narrative. That takes real self-assurance. Unlike many visuals who protect their image fiercely, Jin proves that charm comes from personality, not perfection. He's living proof that true confidence comes from self-awareness, not just symmetry. Number 8. Jin's vocal evolution is a blueprint for growth. Jin didn't come into BTS as a powerhouse vocalist. He was scouted for his acting background and visuals. But instead of coasting, he chose to push himself vocally year after year. Compare early tracks like No More Dream to recent ballads like Epiphany or The Astronaut. It's like hearing a completely different singer. He trained relentlessly to find his tone, strengthen his control, and carve out a unique vocal identity within the group. His voice, now often described as warm and emotive, adds emotional weight to BTS's softer, melancholic tracks. From the chorus of Spring Day to the harmony in Film Out, Jin's vocals bring a sense of vulnerability. The fact that he went from having minimal lines to releasing international solo ballads shows how much work he put in behind the scenes. That level of dedication is something fans and producers alike deeply respect. Number 7. Jin holds BTS's emotional chemistry together. Jin is often described as the mood maker, but that's an understatement. He's not just joking around. He's actively managing the group's emotional dynamic. In tough situations, he's the one who senses tension before it explodes and lightens the mood just enough to reset the atmosphere. His role is both social and psychological, bridging the emotional gaps between more introverted and extroverted members. This emotional intelligence isn't loud, but it's essential. Without Jin's ability to balance BTS's internal chemistry, their group dynamic might have frayed. He treats every member with respect, using humor and empathy to ensure no one feels isolated. His ability to build comfort, especially with younger members like Jungkook, makes him more than just the eldest. He's the emotional backbone of BTS. Number 6. Jin's intelligence is disguised behind his humor. Jin might act like the silly one, but behind the jokes is a man with sharp intellect and strategic depth. A graduate of the prestigious Konkuk University, he didn't just get in on looks. He was selected through auditions and academic merit. Since debut, he's continued his education, taking online courses and even business-related training. His restaurant investments and real estate ventures show his financial foresight and long-term planning. More impressively, Jin's public persona is a carefully crafted mechanism. He understands media and how to shape virality. His worldwide handsome brand isn't just a catchphrase, it's a memeable, marketable identity that generates endless media traction without controversy. This self-marketing genius, combined with his emotional awareness and humility, makes Jin one of the smartest and most socially adaptable idols in the game. Number 5. Jin is the most consistently selfless member. While all members of BTS support one another, Jin has consistently put the group's needs above his own, often at the cost of individual recognition. From delaying his solo promotions to prioritizing group schedules over personal opportunities, Jin's loyalty to BTS has never wavered. Even when The Astronaut was released, he repeatedly emphasized that the song wasn't about going solo, but about giving ARMYs a meaningful gift before his enlistment. In group settings, he's the first to step back and let others shine. During award speeches, he often passes the mic or deflects praise to the team. In chaotic moments, he quietly works in the background while others take center stage. That level of humility is rare in an industry where individualism often wins. Jin's selflessness is not performative, it's part of who he is, and BTS has benefited immensely from his ability to prioritize the group over personal glory. Number 4. Jin handles pressure with calm no one else matches. Being a global idol brings extreme stress, but Jin has shown an almost unmatched ability to remain composed. Whether it's performing live at the United Nations, dealing with camera mishaps on stage, or handling unexpected interview questions, Jin rarely lets stress show. His calm, even in the most intense moments, sets the tone for others around him. He's not just unfazed, he's a grounding presence for both fans and members alike. Other idols might freeze or become overly cautious, but Jin adapts in real time, often responding with humor or quiet leadership. This natural grace under pressure is what makes him a fan favorite at international events and live shows. In a world that demands perfection, Jin's consistent calmness is refreshing. It assures fans that no matter what chaos unfolds, someone like Jin is there, collected, resilient, and dependable. Number 3. Jin is BTS's most underrated creative contributor. While he may not be BTS's main producer or lyricist, Jin's creative contributions are deeply personal and emotionally rich. Songs like Abyss, Moon, and Super Tuna show the range of his artistic voice, from raw emotional vulnerability to quirky humor. He doesn't just sing, he creates stories and feelings that are distinctly his. His solo discography reflects not just his vocal talent, but also his worldview. Laced with introspection and sincerity, moreover, Jin isn't afraid to write about things others won't, like mental fatigue or fear of underperformance. In Abyss, for example, he directly tackles burnout, something rarely addressed in idol culture. That kind of honesty gives fans space to reflect on their own struggles. While other members may dominate headlines with their writing, Jin's work is often the most healing. His art doesn't just entertain, it comforts. Number 2. Jin's humor keeps BTS and ARMY grounded. Jin's sense of humor is more than just entertainment, it's emotional protection. During heavy moments, his timing is flawless. He knows when to crack a joke, when to be absurd, and when to distract the members from spiraling into stress. His humor is never cruel or sarcastic. It's wholesome, ridiculous, and perfectly timed. In a group as emotionally intense as BTS, Jin provides the release valve that keeps everyone balanced. For ARMYs, Jin's humor is a source of comfort. His live streams are filled with dad jokes, silly dances, and complete unpredictability, which makes fans feel like they're talking to an old friend rather than a global superstar. He doesn't maintain a barrier between idol and audience. He dismantles it with laughter. While others may seek admiration, Jin seeks connection. And sometimes, the fastest way to someone's heart is through genuine, unfiltered joy. Number 1. Jin embodies true maturity, without ever making others feel small. The core of Jin's greatness is his maturity. He doesn't assert it through dominance or hierarchy, despite being the eldest. He listens instead of lectures, encourages instead of commands. He knows when to speak, when to stay silent, and when to let others find their own voice. His leadership is rooted not in power, but in presence. That maturity isn't loud. It's in how he treats people, how he responds to mistakes, and how he carries the group's burdens with grace. Most importantly, Jin never uses his seniority to control others. He chooses kindness over authority and respect over ego. Members younger than him never seem afraid to speak their minds, because Jin creates an environment where growth is nurtured, not enforced. His maturity has allowed BTS to function as a unit of equals, even though hierarchy is deeply embedded in Korean culture. In that way, Jin didn't just lead BTS, he liberated it from tradition. And that might be his greatest legacy of all.